You don't have to tell me. She already did. Rebecca and Bella both gave me an earful after I said the opposite. Promised them I wouldn't, but you can never tell. Hopefully, once I feel better, I'll be able to think about it properly. Speaking of Bella, she didn't open up to me, but maybe with you and Rebecca.
Yeah, I'll try. I can't promise anything, but I'll talk to her.
Thanks. That's all I'm asking.
This time, when he reaches for the door, he lets it close fully behind him without glancing back. A mild draft sweeps into the room as I close the door behind him, slightly disturbing the papers on the nearby fridge. A lone note flutters by my feet, the letters on the surface staring at me with mute intensity. A Murgard mention, Anna Wright, 11 AM, luxury living. After Ashton's warning, they all hold a different meaning now. October 27th, Thursday. The next 2 days rushed by in a blur, altogether leaving a collective mess of work suddenly piling up and new unexpected acquaintances or friends. So I guess I'm betting that now we are after the meeting with Anna. Depends on how you look at it, really. Either way, I'm stuck developing these photos at 3 in the morning to reach a deadline set by an over-eager art director. Don't get me wrong, Julius is good, has a vision, and knows what he wants, but damn, he can be too enthusiastic sometimes.
Doesn't matter when you couldn't sleep anyway.
There is nothing new in it, of course. After years of working as a freelance photographer, it's simply something I have grown used to. Get to know people, build a client base, do good work, and cash in some late hours if need be. Rinse and repeat. It certainly takes a while to get some footing on the field, but it's the kind of thing that pays off in the long run as long as you keep at it. Given enough time, you might end up with big names on your client list. Names like the Wrights in particular. I never did pay much attention to them, but it's virtually impossible not to hear about them when a local news channel or paper has something to say on their name. A party here and acquisition there. Sometimes it's a new business venture, or other times it's the everyday gossip that typically follows popular people like them. Not in a million years did I ever imagine I would end up working for such a high-profile couple. In between that and the fuss that comes with, leaves me no time to ponder over whatever happened to Isabella or why Hash is so adamant we keep away from the pair.
They do seem like the good folk, though, despite the whole fame thing.
Sure, there was a rumor running around years ago about him being involved in such business scandal. But just like every gossip blown out of proportion by the media, nothing came of it, and eventually it simply died down. Much is definitely left to be said for the husband, but I doubt a woman like Miss Wright will pick him if he doesn't have any good points at all. Miss Wright, Hannah herself though, she ain't particularly bad the way the press makes her out to be. A bit too forward for a Mary Mormon baby, but not as bad as what's on the tabloids. Not that I ever read those. Ashton would give me a flag for just staring at one. Rubbish, he called them once. I think he's just pissed because they often put the local police behind a bad light. Although, with a life as public as the Wrights, no wonder it's the woman who often gets the crappy end of the stick. I can't help but feel sorry for her. She's a real nice person when given the chance. Heck, she might have ended up friends with Rebecca and Isabella too, if they are not living worlds apart. Probably. The beep quickly pulls me back before my thoughts travel any further, like I just did. I kinda, shit. In one practice motion, I carefully place the wet print I'm holding on the drying rack and amble over my makeshift dark room to get the last photos from the water bath. Inside the converted broom closet, the film processor lets out another soft clack before going on its standby mode. I'm betting there will be a picture with a ghost. At its mouth, a lone photograph sits on the tray, barely visible with a lag of light. It's the last one tonight for the set Miss Wright requested. I don't usually make this habit, giving away stuff that is. It's bad for business, no matter how well intentioned or generous you are. This exception, however. She was nice enough to ask after all and was a good companion up until the awkward turn or little chit-chat has taken. Even if she did not ask, I would have probably given her a few prints just for the hell of it. Miss Wright ain't such a bad subject matter to begin with. And maybe this is just me, but for someone who has everything at the palm of her hands, all the money in the world, a loving husband, and a plenty big mansion to call home, she's lonely. She does not just appear like it. It shows in the tone of her voice, how she moves, and most certainly in her smiles. Always hidden behind the glamour for the world to never see. Sometimes for the people like her, small things like these helps. A little reminder that the world can be kind too. Water drips from the paper as I blindly pick it up and gently lay it on another tray holding a decent amount of photo flow. A few seconds under the solution is all it needs before it's ready for drying. No good rushing this last one, even if my body is already screaming for some decent snooze. My hand fumbles for the light switch, moving towards it with familiarity while I fish for a squeegee among the mess of tools on the drawer with the other. The bulb flickers twice before it slowly settles and casts a soft light in the tiny space. When I glance back down, squeegee in hand, ready to finish the process, and finally caught it at night.
What on earth?
Uh-oh. Her head is gone. Blurred and distorted beyond recognition, rather. The area completely smudged over, leaving no trace of the same sweet smile the good woman carried in all the previous prints.
Damn, that was too careless.
Yeah, maybe he just fucked up his drying. A common mistake to make, of course, if one is negligent enough to pick a newly processed photo in the dark like I apparently did. It has happened before, loads of time actually. But I still can't help but feel a small pang of frustration over one mistake I knew the newbie would likely make. Aside, I reach up for the switch again, intending to develop a new one from scratch.
It could pass off for one of those supernatural pictures they show on TV, though.
Yeah. And it kind of scared me too, so yeah, it got me. But did I tell it? Did I say it? I knew it. A memory clicks, one cursory thought in the sea of many, and a short yet distinct second from the day before. A glimpse is all I got, but it's enough to burn the image in my mind. There was a shadow. I remember that. No. Yep. When Zach was at the house to take pictures, there was one picture that he went like and I knew he saw the ghost there. A woman in her 20s or early 30s maybe? something. Looks like her head is completely smashed. But with how far gone the flesh alone has become, it's not possible to tell at first glance. The skin itself has already taken a sickly pale color, rotten in most parts, blood dripping from every open gash and lesion on her body. Bony hands grip Miss Wright's neck like a noose, staining the skin underneath with a vibrant shade of scarlet. Nothing but madness fears to gleam in her eyes.
Zachary?
Not for me, but for Miss Wright.
Zach, is something the matter?
Oh no, there's nothing wrong. I just remembered something, that's all. Let's get back to the pictures. Can you move a bit more to the left, yeah?
The memory alone is enough to make me a wretch. I brushed it off then. A trick of the eye, I told myself, or a product of the heat. The weather has been unexpectedly warm recently, so it should not be too surprising for such things to happen. And well, blaming this on the usual fatigue and overworked brain, the weather or an amateur error on my part, is far more convenient. It makes a whole lot of sense than what the small voice inside my head whispers. The same tiny voice that only makes itself known when something's afoul. The same one that lent a curious ear to Isabella's worries about the mansion. And with each second I spent staring at this photograph, the murmurs in my head only grow louder against my ears. Not again! Someone has to know. There's no point showing the photo to Anna because we kinda, I think Anna kinda went crazy when she put on the necklace. But Ash, on the other hand, could actually investigate on the matter and maybe resolve the mystery. Ash will give me a flag for this, he will. I can already hear what he's going to say about this moment I bring it up. And before he even sees anything at a wager. Guy is a skeptic through and through, and it will take more than in my account for him to even consider this. But when you've been there, seen something enough to raise the hairs at the back of your neck and leave you wanting to flee or hide, what he thinks is the least of my concerns. I am no hero, that's a title best reserved for someone else. Still, if this will help him change his mind, it's worth a try. Isabella's gone and done the same thing, didn't she? Outside, the sun has yet to rise. I've still got a few hours before dawn, good enough to mull over how I'll go about this with him. Plenty of space to check if I get the same result if I redo the process again. The film processor hums back to life at my touch. The light switch gives out a soft click, and darkness embraces the smart closet again.
Somehow those urban legends don't sound so silly now.
Why is it black? I feel like something's bad's gonna happen. Oh, never mind. That was just a transition moment. Sometimes I wish Ash would make himself easier to find. 24 messages, 13 phone calls, and 1 visit to his flat later, and I still have no idea which rock in Luxburn he went off to hide under again. The guy has his own place but refuses to stay in it. He has his own phone but doesn't answer any of his calls or give any indication he's gotten my messages. Most of the time, he just shows up on my front door. sometimes in the middle of the night complaining how uncomfortable it is to sleep at the